We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
You trying to kill me or I'm trying to kill you? You know, I think let's go in here and make this money. You know, it's more of a business tactic than anything.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds.
At the press event, Gervonta Davis intensified the atmosphere by issuing a direct and severe warning to Jake Paul. He stated without hesitation that he intends to end the fight in decisive fashion and leave no uncertainty about the result. Davis vowed to knock Jake out and secure the payday, projecting total belief in his own strength and resolve.
He's a fighter that's just started fighting. That's, you know how when somebody first come in the gym and like yeah. When somebody first come in the gym and they've been coming for like a little minute, so they think they nice now. They ain't get all the everything down pat, but that's how he fight. I don't think he's an awkward fighter. Awkward is somebody, I don't want to call them names, but awkward is different from him. He's not awkward. We know awkward fighters. Real fighters know awkward fighters. He's not an awkward fighter. He's just a dumb fighter.
Eddie Hearn spoke candidly when discussing the unusual showdown between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul. He stressed that there's a sharp line between authentic boxing and staged entertainment, and this matchup clearly belongs to the latter. In his view, it is not a real measure of skill or credibility, but a spectacle crafted to attract attention. Hearn chuckled at the concept, calling it amusing and urging people not to confuse such exhibitions with elite professional boxing. His remarks mirror the growing unease among traditional promoters that these entertainment bouts are eclipsing the sport's core.
We're getting Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis. What can you tell me about that? What can you tell me about why Jake and Anthony has maybe been put to the side for now?
Yeah, they always told us that it was, we were looking at that fight for February of next year, and they always said that there was a chance that Jake would fight in November. I think, wasn't I the one that broke Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis 6 months ago or something? I knew that they'd agree that deal. I didn't know they were about to announce it then. But I did know that they'd agreed that deal previously. So I don't like it, if I'm honest. I mean, I think we need to really differentiate between boxing and an entertainment concept. And that's what that is. It's a freak show. It's entertainment. It's a lightweight fighting a cruiserweight, with, I don't know, is it bigger gloves and certain minutes per round. I don't know what it is, but I understand the market and I understand this freak show shock kind of the world mentality of people potentially tuning in. Is that a step too far? Maybe. I mean, I hated Jake Paul against Mike Tyson, but it did massive numbers. I hate Jake Paul against Gervonta Davis. It'll probably do massive numbers. So that's when you really have to differentiate yourself between, just because you don't like it doesn't mean it isn't going to do good business. Now, whether you want to be involved with it is another kettle of fish. I don't want to be involved with it, but I do respect the fact that it's going to do big numbers.
Ariel Helwani took a different stance, noting that fans frequently embrace and even enjoy odd spectacles in MMA, yet react harshly when boxing does the same. He called this an unfair double standard. Helwani argued that while Davis versus Paul may not represent classic boxing, it still holds entertainment appeal for audiences. He stressed that the fight should not be judged like a title clash or official event, but appreciated as a standalone show. In his opinion, if fans can welcome spectacle fights in other combat sports, boxing supporters should also be able to enjoy this contest without undue backlash.
Fight at, generally, I'm sure it'll be a little bit closer, maybe 200 to 150. How much bigger can Tank get? Why would that be somewhat celebrated in MMA, but in boxing it isn't? Do you know what I mean, Pizzi? In MMA, we sort of love the freak shows, but in boxing they don't. Why do you think that is? What does that say about us in MMA?
Well, we're a sick bunch of fucks, there's no doubt about that. But I will say...
You agree, right, or no?
Yeah. The idea of the MMA freak show is everybody coming together and saying, oh, we're going to watch a freak show. This is what this is. We know what this is. It is absolutely mental, what we're going to watch here. I think where people get annoyed with Jake is he even got me. You know what I mean? This guy is the greatest outrage farmer of all time. I saw his tweet and I was like, reading it, you know what I mean? And I was like, well, this is exactly what he fucking wants me to do. You know, like this is every time I'm doing this, he's in the game of getting eyeballs, and this is ridiculous. As long as, like, you know, why do I like an MMA freak show? Why would I watch Eddie Hall in an MMA fight against Dylan Dennis? I'd be like, this is fucking ridiculous, and I have to watch it. That's the way I feel about Jake Paul and Davis. I will watch it. It's ridiculous. You know what I mean? It's all of us getting together to go to the circus for the evening. I think the reason why there's pushback against it when Jake does it is because Jake, and obviously tactfully, is going like, what are you talking about? This guy's a world champion. I took out Mike Tyson. He's a world champion. And then I'm going to take out Canelo and stuff like this. Like he's winding us up. He's not agreeing to the stipulation that we're all agreeing on, which is this is a freak show. This is absolutely mental. As long as we can agree with that, we can all enjoy it collectively.
Chael Sonnen was harsher, openly questioning Jake Paul's actual boxing ability. He claimed the Paul brothers lacked true technical skill and instead used their celebrity and wealth to line up big-name opponents. Sonnen pointed to Jake's habit of facing legends or skilled fighters, despite a clear gap in expertise. For him, these fights are not about fairness or balance, but about leveraging money and influence for attention. His biting comments echo the view of many who believe this event is driven by profit, rather than genuine boxing competition.
Tank is not the guy that knows how to sell a fight. Tank cannot sell a fight in his own division. You have the Paul brothers and they come over to boxing. Their idea from day one is we don't have the skills or the experience. What we're going to do is we'll take on the absolute best guys, but they're going to spot us some pounds. Tank has one job to do, that it doesn't make any difference, that boxing is a real sport. My skills versus your skill, of which I am an abundance of and of which you have none of. Tank is telling anybody that will listen that there's a size problem. My skills and my experience in boxing, I do not have to wonder who's in the bar tonight. Any bar I go to, I rule the bar. No, it turns out that you don't. Just need some big guy to corner you, apparently. Boxing has never stood its ground. Boxing has never been able to explain why Floyd needed a half hour to get rid of a guy who's never boxed before. Hank Davis has already began this. When you choose a dum-dum, don't be surprised when he goes out and acts like a dum-dum.
The large weight gap between Gervonta Davis and Jake Paul is one of the most talked about aspects of this exhibition. Davis is naturally a lightweight, whereas Paul competes around cruiserweight, creating a huge disparity. This has led to talk that the fight might already be scripted. Analysts suggest that regardless of outcome, Jake Paul benefits more. A victory over Davis boosts his credibility. If Davis wins, critics dismiss it due to the mismatch. These suspicions have fueled speculation that the finish could be arranged to help Paul's career path.
He should be Jake Paul, shouldn't he?
No, he shouldn't.
You don't think? Sorry. So, I thought we were all unanimous here. Do you think that
shouldn't.
Do you think Jake Paul beats Gervonta Davis?
70 pounds is 70 pounds.
Gervonta Davis is very small. 5'5".
He's tiny, bro. 5'5".
That's what I'm saying. Jake Paul,
he's a little man.
If Jake Paul's tucking up,
move on,
and absorbing punishment for walking forward, then look, there's a weight advantage.
Ryan Garcia compared this matchup to past controversial boxing events, like when Mike Tyson appeared in exhibitions nobody really wanted. Garcia admitted the public isn't clamoring for Davis versus Paul either, but noted that the sport often proceeds with such spectacles anyway. He emphasized that Davis is far smaller than Paul, making the fight lopsided from the outset. Garcia's view is that while fans may dislike the pairing, they will end up accepting it because of the hype and financial stakes driving it.
Bro, that's a fucking disgrace of a fight.
Yeah.
You know it. Just like the Mike Tyson low-key was a disgrace, but we accepted it, but
Yeah.
he was 60 years old. I mean, the casuals don't see the weight difference. They see Jake Paul and Gervonta Davis.
Yeah.
And if Gervonta Davis doesn't fuck up Jake Paul, they're going to think Jake Paul is some pound-for-pound champion type of fighter.
Yeah.
Gervonta Davis, he's actually really small. Like, when I fought him, he's small.
Yeah.
So I just think it's a very unfair fight.
Jake Paul escalated the tension by mocking Davis with one of his trademark stunts. In a clip, Paul smashed a cake shaped like Davis, intending to embarrass and provoke him. The move also generated massive online attention. Known for his promotional flair, Paul used the act to make headlines and stoke the rivalry further. Destroying the tank-shaped cake reminded fans that Paul thrives on theatrics and mind games, just as much as on fighting itself. Seeing Davis share a ring with someone as big as Jake Paul will be striking. The size gap borders on absurd, yet Davis holds clear advantages in skill, speed, and defense. His footwork lets him move swiftly and slip heavy punches, while Paul will aim to exploit his size and reach, tagging him much smaller. Elusive fighter like Davis may be difficult. Davis's defensive sharpness and counters could create openings despite the height and weight difference. The bout's intrigue lies in this clash of skill versus size.
So crazy. Why is Gervonta Davis fighting a guy that big? There is some interest to that because you're not going to see Gervonta Davis. You're going to be able to see Gervonta Davis's feet. That's what I'm going to be interested to see, because I don't think Gervonta's going to jump out there and try to run up into Jake Paul and try to knock Jake Paul out. What I think Gervonta is going to do is Gervonta is going to move his feet, just going to move, make Jake Paul miss a lot, make Jake Paul look really dumb just by using defense on him and making him swing at the wind, because that is going to be very tough for him to hit a guy that is that little. If you play basketball, for example, and you are a tall 6'1" guy and you try to stand in front of some 5'8", real quick 5'8" guy, trust me, their first steps are going up out of there, those little teeny weeny dudes. So that's going to be very fun and interesting to watch how that goes down. Now, on the other side, you know what Jake Paul's going to do. He don't have no consciousness. He doesn't have a conscience about what he's trying to do. He's going to go in there, try to hurt a 60-year-old Mike Tyson. He don't care. He wanted to hit Nate. He's way bigger than Nate Jones when he fought Nate Jones. You think he didn't care about hitting Nate Jones upside the head? He's definitely going to be looking to try to get as much as he can get off on Gervonta Davis, and I see him trying to run up on him, trying to maul him, trying to grab him, trying to club him, trying to do all kind of craziness, man. And it's going to be interesting. It's going to be an interesting thing to watch. Now, let me tell you what I really hope, and I haven't seen for this particular card, but I know that I know it's going to be good, which is the undercard. The undercard for the Canelo Alvarez fight and Terence Crawford fight is absolutely horrendous. There's nothing on the thing that would make you want to watch to tune into that thing.
Even Terence Crawford, regarded as one of the sport's pound-for-pound elites, dismissed the notion of treating Davis versus Paul as legitimate. He questioned how promoters could match a 195-pounder against someone at 135 pounds. For Crawford, the event looks less like a real fight and more like a business deal. His indifference highlights the skepticism many boxing insiders feel toward what they see as a spectacle rather than authentic competition. His comments underscore the divide between true sport and entertainment.
Ferocious.
Experts have wondered whether Davis's punches will even affect Jake Paul. In boxing, power often decides outcomes, but against such a big opponent, Davis's shots may not have the same effect. Analysts fear Paul's mass will absorb much of the impact, making Davis's challenge harder than usual. Conversely, if Paul connects cleanly with his size advantage, the damage to Davis could be severe. This unpredictability adds tension and raises doubts about whether the exhibition should occur under the current terms.
I am interested to see, will it look similar to this, or will it be even more definitive in favor of Tank, like some people are suggesting? And with it being 10 rounds, like Jake Paul did start to gas at the end of his last fight. Like if that happens, maybe Tank could look at that and go, right, I'm going to work the body early, and when you do start fading, then I'm going to fucking really put the pressure on you. And it's one thing Julio says, or Chavez, in front of you, who's trying a little bit in the last 2 rounds, but Tank, even as small as he is, it will be a lot harder to keep him off. And what will Tank's power be like as a 135er? Like he's probably going to be about 150 when he gets in there, maybe. Will those punches on the big fat dome of Jake Paul actually really hurt? Because power can translate up a couple of divisions, but like that's a lot of divisions. What if Jake just takes them? No problem. I'm not saying he will. I'm just saying it would be fucking weird. This really is size versus skill in its purest form, and that is why I've got to admit I'm fascinated to see it. To be honest, I'm a little disappointed as well, because I wanted to see Tank versus Roach after they went to a draw in their last fight, a very controversial draw. I think Tank should have fucking lost it, to be honest. Tank doesn't give a shit about legacy and belts. He doesn't give 2 shits about that. He just wants money. And unfortunately, it's going to really hinder his legacy. His legacy will just be, yeah, he had a good run, but he's never going to be up there with the greats, despite his talent. That being said, if he chins Jake Paul, it won't really matter because everyone will fucking love him, won't they? And ironically, I said Tank should be fighting Roach, but Jake Paul clearly now should be fighting Darren Till. This was Darren's fight the other night against Luke Rockhold, former UFC middleweight champion. Dropped him, hard to watch. There was just a massive gap in ability there. Like Rockhold being like a very well-rounded fighter in MMA, but Till just such a specialist in stand-up, and it showed. And this knockout was fucking brutal. Oh god, it was a terrible one. I mean, his leg was bent back and everything.
A heated rumor is circulating that Gervonta Davis might be offered up to $200 million to deliberately lose to Jake Paul. The speculation suggests Davis could take the payout and hand Paul a victory, sparking outrage among fans. Many view this as a blow to boxing's credibility, questioning the fight's authenticity. If such claims were true, the event would shift from a battle of skill or legacy to pure business. The rumor has split opinion and left supporters unsure whether the contest is real or staged.
Now, really, y'all worry about the wrong question. Y'all worry about Roach, but the real question is, damn, is Tank getting paid $150, $200 million to take that dive versus Jake? Is he gonna do it? Now, I'm just thinking like, damn, like, for them, $200 million? It's an exhibition, they gonna go on your record? Shit, what would I do? Would I take $200 million to lose a fake fight? Damn, G, Jake might win this fight, bro, because of shit. $200 million is an exhibition, y'all already talking shit. $200 million. Would I take the dive? I think $200 million is worth taking a dive, gang. I honestly do think so. And it ain't even a real fight. I hope that's not the case, but that's a fucking solid fucking question. What the fuck is gonna happen in this fight? Like, is he gonna take the dive? It's an exhibition, so somebody gotta win. It's not real. It's like a play. When you really think about it, it's sparring. It's not real. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. What y'all think? What would you do? Would you take the $200 million to motherfucking lose to Jake Paul? I don't know.
That wraps up today's video.